Pursuant to the rule, a gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Guthrie, and the lady from Colorado, Ms. DeGette, each will control 20 minutes. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of H.R. 3491, led by my colleagues, Representatives DeGette and Hudson. This bill would authorize the INCLUDE project at the National Institutes of Health, which advances research into Down syndrome to improve the health and quality of life individuals with Down syndrome and their families. This project investigates conditions that affect people with Down syndrome as well as the general public, with the hope of improving our understanding of the condition and advancing the quality of life outcomes for individuals with Down syndrome and patients facing similar medical issues. I encourage my colleagues to support this bill.
Mr. Speaker, my bill with Representative Hudson, the DeOndra Dixon INCLUDE Project Act, codifies the renaissance in Down syndrome research at NIH that was kicked off when the INCLUDE project began in 2018. This bill sustains and encourages this critical research. After being left behind by NIH for nearly 20 years, the Down syndrome community is finally seeing research advancements that will extend and improve their lives. What we learn from this research will not only help us better understand Down syndrome, but also heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, and many co-occurring conditions. I'm so proud that much of this work is happening right in my home district of Denver, Colorado. The Cernick Institute for Down Syndrome on the Anschutz Medical Campus leads more than 200 scientists at the largest Down syndrome research facility in the world. They see incredible breakthroughs every day. This type of innovation puts science first and benefits not only individuals living with Down syndrome and their families, but every single one of them, because we're learning more and more about disease biology and just why some conditions work differently in people with Down syndrome. It's why the bill passed the House last Congress with unanimous support. I'm so happy that I was able to work for many years with my friend, the former chair of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Kathy McMorris Rodgers, on this bill in the last Congress. I know it is a labor of love and deeply personal for her, her family, and every family that's been touched by Down syndrome. It's been an honor to also work with my constituent, Michelle C. Whitten, who's the president of the Global Down Syndrome Foundation, who's been a driving force for this bill and a fierce advocate for her daughter and everyone with Down syndrome. And with my friend and colleague, Representative Hudson, whose dedication to the Down syndrome community has been essential to push this bill closer to the finish line. I simply could not have had a better partner on this issue. The INCLUDE Project Act will ensure that critical Down syndrome research continues to advance. This year, it must finally be enacted into law. I urge my colleagues to join Representative Hudson and me to support the bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
I rise in strong support of the DeOndra Dixon INCLUDE Project Act and applaud my colleagues, Representative Diana DeGette and Richard Hudson, for championing this critical piece of legislation. The DeOndra Dixon INCLUDE Project Act will help ensure the NIH INCLUDE project continues advancing research that improves health outcomes, expands scientific understanding, and enhances quality of life for individuals with Down syndrome and their families. This legislation builds upon one of our nation's most successful investments in Down syndrome research. Already, these investments have led to major breakthroughs in how Down syndrome interacts with other health conditions that have a high incidence in the community, such as immune system disorders, or cancer, or Alzheimer's, and more. Every one of these breakthroughs carries the hope for a brighter tomorrow for individuals living with Down syndrome. I would also like to recognize that this progress doesn't happen without sustained advocacy. In particular, I would like to highlight the role of the Global Down Syndrome Foundation and its founder, Michelle C. Whitten, for their tireless advocacy to make this happen today.
In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.